Boy, this is God ordered, isn't it, this weather?
Amen.
And talking about God, isn't that where our inalienable rights come from?
Yes.
Or do they come
Amen.
from man, through the government, regulating?
No.
Do they? No, we have to remember that. It's very important. He took half my speech away by opening up, reading the House resolution. But this was very, a piece of work, probably a year and a half putting together to get one paragraph. And it's very important because what goes into this, are we okay here? Like a swarm of bees there. Okay. Well, I want to give a little background. And there's actually no current crisis regarding the exercise of parental rights which would be immediately resolved by this piece of legislation. This is actually protecting that which is already ours. However, it is essential to protect the rights of parents presently enjoy so that there's no further erosion or a crisis occurs as it is happening in other states. These rights have been, they're already precedent, they're already statute. All we want to do is guarantee them that they remain that. And that's why we need to put this legislation into the Constitution. In order to do that, it'll have to go to the vote of the people. So why is this so scary, this House resolution, if it can't even be allowed to go through the committee process and then on to the people to vote? I would like to read a court ruling. The following example of a U.S. Supreme Court ruling demonstrates the need to make this constitutional and not merely statute or precedent, because we cannot live here in this country on opinions by the bench, can we?
No!
Judge. And you know, it depends how he wakes up or she wakes up that day, and they're going to make rulings, and we're going to live by that and call that freedom? But I want to let you know what the Supreme Court's justice spoke, Sandra Day O'Connor, Troxville and Granville. It says the 14th Amendment provides that no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. We've heard about that due process, haven't we?
Yes.
Sometimes it's violated. We have long recognized that the amendment's due process clause, like its Fifth Amendment counterpart, guarantees more than fair process. The clause includes a substantive component that provides heightened protection against governmental interference with certain fundamental rights and liberty interests, and the liberty interests of parents in the care, custody, and control of their children is perhaps the oldest of the fundamental liberty interests recognized by this court. That was given by one of the liberal Supreme Court justices of the United States Supreme Court. You understand? She even saw that. Our United States Supreme Court has held more than 100 years that parents have the fundamental rights to direct the care, upbringing of their own children, but lower courts are eroding this right. We can no longer take for granted that the family will remain a core value and principle of the nation without this amendment. Parents need the assurance that there is not just one way to raise children, and they need to be provided the means of jurisdiction to fulfill this God-given responsibility. This proposed resolution will protect and do the very protect those natural and fundamental parental rights that face erosion. There is no need to make, there is a need, there's no need, I apologize, I want to drive this home. There is a need to make a clear distinction in our Constitution This joint resolution will not change any present statute or law, as I stated, but it will secure these natural and fundamental rights. Although the U.S. Supreme Court clearly recognizes parents' rights as fundamental and thus protected by a higher standard of review, many lower courts over the last 25 years have continued to go against this opinion. A parental rights amendment would guarantee that parents are the